Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Modesto Fiume, and I am the president of Opportunity House. I am joined up here by Alyssa Bushke, our chief operating officer, Frank Grill, our director of shelter services, 5 of our wonderful folks who are currently living in the shelter, Representative Johanny Cepeda, Councilor Jamie Baez, and Kim Talbert. Give me your title correct. I want to get that title correct.
Executive Director, Reading Human Relations.
Thank you. Executive Director of the Human Relations Commission. So, thank you, Mayor, and everyone else for joining us here today in the shelter at Opportunity House. We are here to address the actions of 4 members of City Council. I am here to discuss their unfathomable decision to deny funding for a much-needed project. I would like to focus on the discussion from Monday's meeting when Solicitor Gombar attempted to use the assessed value of the property at 100 South 4th Street to determine its appraised value. An appraisal is the amount a professional real estate appraiser uses to determine a property's worth and is typically used by lenders when considering a mortgage application. An assessment is the amount the local government uses to determine property taxes. Utilizing a common level ratio determined each July by the State Tax Equalization Board, it is based upon sales data compiled by the board in the prior year and varies by county. The current Berks County CLR rate is 2.75%. The State Tax Equalization Board determines the common level ratio by calculating a percentage between recent sales to their current assessment. On the Berks County Assessment Office website, it clearly states that the CLR is a percentage applied to market value to equalize an assessment when appealed to the Board of Assessment Appeals or the Court of Common Pleas. It is not a tool used to determine the current value of a property. It also states if you take the assessment and divide it by the CLR, the common level ratio, you arrive at the imputed market value. The imputed market value can be used, but it's an assumed value given to a property when the actual value is not known. In the case of 100 South 4th Street, there is no assumed value. We have an actual value. An appraisal was conducted by Fleetwood Bank at the request of Opportunity House because we wanted to secure a bridge loan, in effect a short-term mortgage, to purchase the property immediately after receiving City Council approval. The need for affordable housing is so great, we did not want to delay closing on the property while waiting for HUD to release the funds. As the lender, they hired a professional appraiser to determine the property's worth. The appraisal indicates the actual value of the property is $3.3 million. When certain members of City Council question the integrity of the appraisal, they in effect will question the integrity of Fleetwood Bank, a well-established and respected institution that has been operating in Berks County since 1907. You might ask, why would we agree to borrow money as opposed to waiting for HUD to release these funds? Please let me explain. Here at our shelter on North 2nd Street, we have been averaging 87 people per evening. 32% are diagnosed with a permanent disability, and 29% are senior citizens. 42% have lived in the shelter for a minimum of 6 months, and 8 have lived here more than a year. At our Code Blue Family Shelter on Eckerd Avenue, we are averaging 65 people per night. 119 homeless individuals have engaged in services there, including 64 children. 31% have been diagnosed with a permanent disability, and 24% have a chronic health condition. Due to the lack of affordable housing, only 3 families have been able to return to independent living. Another 21 individuals have exited the program to the homes of families and friends due to the lack of affordable housing. We all know these situations are tenuous at best, and many could find themselves homeless once again. This project at 100 South 4th Street is merely a drop in the bucket compared to the actual need, but it's a necessary first step in beginning to address the lack of affordable housing. In closing, 4 members of Reading City Council continue to undermine this project for reasons only they know. Council President Reed keeps saying there are questions that need to be answered, but they have repeatedly ignored our request to provide us with those questions. Their latest attempt at denying these funds was not only based upon a false premise, but also at the expense of a well-respected Berks County institution. There are clearly hidden agendas these 4 council members have that are preventing them from operating in a transparent way and ultimately approving these funds. If there are no hidden agendas, the only conclusion is they could care little about providing providing affordable housing to individuals and families on fixed incomes who are stuck living in a homeless shelter. If that is the case, it is truly a sad day for the city of Reading. Thank you. I think I'd like to I don't have the Michael. Yeah. Come on, are you speaking, Michael? I'd like to now introduce Michael. He's one of our residents currently living here in the Shelter Opportunity House with his wife. Michael, come on up. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Wow, it is such an honor to be standing here in front of you guys with such an amazing topic of homelessness, be it for veterans, children, mothers, fathers, people coming off the streets. For us to open this house means so much. The way I look at it, we can take more people off the street, okay? That's what our goal is. We can bring them here, train them up, give them the resources, which is, I'm learning that there's a lot of resources for people like me and my wife to come into here, to be safe, to be off the streets. The other night, those of you that heard me talk, I talked of the horrors of the streets. Thanks to Candace, one of our facilitators here, she opened my eyes to making people feel uncomfortable, okay? We need to make people feel uncomfortable so that we can get this thing done. We have to have this house. The problem, not only here in Reading, but in every city across the nation, is suffering from homelessness, okay? We can stop that. We can come together, we can reunite, we can get the backing of the mayor. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the backing. Thank you for everyone for attending. Since I've been here, I've seen veterans come through that door, myself included. I've seen women and children come through that door, right? They're now given resources so that they can move out of here into a new property, such as the one on 4th Street. It's an honor to be able to stand up here. I want to raise awareness that the people in this community care so that we can open the eyes of other communities to care. As I look around, I see the signs of hope. Being a homeless person with a wife to take care of, hope had something else in mind. It was hopelessness. When you're homeless, that's what happens, right? When we come into this, it lifts us up. It gives us the resources. Thank you guys for listening. We are not done. We are not done. Thank you guys.
Thank you for your service.
I'd like to now invite Mayor Morán to come up and share his thoughts. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Michael.
We're going to do this, right?
Amen. God's willing. I'm not going to give up.
No, neither am I. We're going to
How can you follow that, right? What can you say after hearing from somebody who is living it, whose decision made a couple of days ago directly impacts? Not much I can say, but I'm going to make an attempt to bring additional light to this. Good morning. Buenos días a todos. I'm going to embrace reality. I want to thank you for being here today. And thank you to the team at Opportunity House, not just for opening the doors today and this morning, but for opening your heart every day to the people of this city. Thank you, sincerely. I stand before you as mayor, but as someone who believes deeply in the power of local government to deliver hope, dignity, and fairness to the people we serve. The belief is in the heart of why I'm speaking to you today. Earlier this week, City Council voted 4-3 against a proposal that would have helped 20 families, real people, move from shelters, tents, and cars into safe, stable homes. It was a vote that stunned many of us in our community, including me. And it was a vote that was made despite dozens of stories from people who bravely showed up and spoke out, hoping that their voices would lead to a better future. And it is why I'm asking City Council President Donna Reed and Council Members Wesley Butler, Chris Miller, Melissa Ventura, Jamie Baez Jr., Vanessa Campos, and Rafael Nunez to hold a special meeting and reconsider their recent vote. Before I go on, yes. But before I go on, I would like to take a moment to thank and recognize Councilman Jamie Baez Jr., who's here with us today, Vanessa Campos, and Rafael Nunez for standing with us and voting yes. Thank you for your leadership, your courage, and compassion. You listened to the voices that night and those in need, and you stood by the side of progress. And I am proud to stand alongside of you on this effort. Thank you. Let's be clear. The project wasn't a luxury. It was a lifeline. The building at 100 South 4th Street is fully renovated, vacant, and move-in ready. That plan was simple. Opportunity House will purchase the property and provide permanent, affordable housing for working families. Not short-term stays, not transitional housing, not temporary shelters. Real homes with real stability. The purchase price, as it was shared, was $2.89 million. The property had been professionally appraised at $3.3 million as part of a loan application with a local bank. The appraisal wasn't questioned or challenged. Instead, the only comparison offered was a tax assessment figure, something used for setting tax rates, not for setting sale prices. We all know those two are very different things. Some have raised concerns about the impact on tax base. But before the vote, City Council approved an amendment requiring Opportunity House to pay full property taxes on the building, just as they already do on 5 other residential properties across the city. That means more than $8,000 in yearly revenue added to our city's budget. The idea that this project will remove the property from city tax rolls is simply not true. Others have said this block, just away from downtown business corridor, isn't the right location. Folks, the truth is, housing belongs in every part of our city, plain and simple. When working people can afford to live near the businesses they support, we all benefit. These future residents will shop downtown, ride the bus, grab lunch, and contribute to the daily rhythm of our community. We often talk about economic development and long-term growth, and I remain committed to that vision. But let me be clear, economic development and housing goes hand in hand. Don't get me wrong. A strong downtown is about small businesses, but it's also about people, neighbors. It's about building a city where families can live, work, and grow. This project was one step towards the broader efforts to revitalize our city and create housing that brings people back into our neighborhoods and support the small businesses that make our community special. We will continue to pursue bold ideas, from strong partnerships, and push forward with purpose. The path to revitalization is never easy. But my commitment to this work and to the people of the city remains strong. Real revitalization doesn't begin with buildings, folks. It begins with people. And when we invest in people, we strengthen a whole community and city. Some may say they are being logically or fiscally responsible. But I ask you to consider this. What does it cost when we do nothing? I'll share a few. The cost shows up in our emergency rooms, in our shelters, in our policing budgets, and in the lost potential of those who fall through the cracks. And it is a choice that comes with consequences. This week, we heard stories that made it clear what is at stake. We heard from Ed Henry, who wakes up at 3 a.m. in the morning to get to work. He drives a school bus and works at a local school cafeteria serving food. He works hard every day, man. But he still can't afford rent. So he lives here in the shelter. We also heard from Paula Whiteley, who is a student at Reading Area Community College. She lives with a disability and receives $900 a month. That's not enough for a room, let alone an apartment. She told City Council that when Code Blue Shelters closes, she'll be sleeping in her Jeep again. You know, folks, I debated on the following comments. I can't say I know how they feel, but I could sympathize. I could sympathize because I remember in 1979, my mother left the only place she knew, which was a 2-bedroom wooden house in Puerto Rico, as a widow, recent widow, to take up 5 children for a better life, and brought us to Brooklyn, New York. We moved to a block that most people wouldn't take for free because of the gang infestation that occurred. But you know what? It was a roof over our home. It was clean, and she was proud. Then I could also sympathize because by choice, when I was 17 years old, I didn't want to hear my mother's rules, and I left home. And at first it was fun because many of my friends, I was still in high school and had a part-time job. And many of my friends would allow me into their homes until after a couple of months, their families got tired of that. And I found myself in a cardboard box in the basement of the job that I had. So, I do know. I do feel it. Don't tell me that I don't know. So today, I'm asking City Council to bring this vote back, hold a special meeting. We still have time to do what is right. Let's not forget. Let's not forget those we serve, folks. We still have time to do what is right. I believe in building a stronger Reading. I believe in that mission, but it must start with housing. It must start with compassion, and it must start now. We have an opportunity to lead, not with fear, not with delayed or hesitation, but with purpose, to give 20 families the stability they need, to stand on what we know is right. Folks, I ask you to make some phone calls to those 4 individuals, and let's rise to this moment. Let's act, because together we can do more.
That's right.
Thank you and God bless you. Thank you. I'll take any questions from the audience, from the media, from me or Modesta. All right. Seeing none, I want to say, these signs you see here, simple. Home equals hope. I'll leave it at that. I think that's enough. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry, I got a little emotional there. Wasn't intended. Wasn't part of the script.
Thank you for sharing your story. It was really fun. You did it. You
It
did
was
it.
a long time. Hesitated, but
Thank you so much.